Hi everyone, it's Miss Judy and welcome to Art Outside the Box. We are going to truly do art outside the box. Well, at least it's outside of my box because this is the first time I've attempted this. So what we're going to do is some string painting, and you may have seen it online. If you haven't, go ahead and Google it. There's tons of YouTube videos on this technique, but it's new to me and I thought I would bring you along today on a little experiment, and we'll see what we end up with. All right, stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Prepare for a mess because you're going to be working with a fair amount of paint, and this is going to take a while to dry. So just keep in mind, after you're finished, you're going to have to let this sit probably overnight. I'm going to show you what I did yesterday, and I'm gonna say that it is not a masterpiece, but you're gonna get the idea and see the possibilities. So this is on a piece of what we call foam core board. It's like kind of like a thick cardboard, and I just wanted to experiment on this instead of using a canvas. So I put my layer of paint down, I mixed some colors together, and I basically just used some string and pulled it through to make these kind of like floral designs. I think someone said it reminded them of seaweed, but you can see that you'll get some interesting effects with this. So I'm gonna do a little tiny one here, and then I've got a bigger one ready to go with my paint on it. So let's see what we end up with. All right, so the first step is to take some acrylic paint, and this is a student grade. It's not real expensive. Once again, I'm going to use this foam core just to demonstrate this. All right, you want a fair amount of paint on there, and then it's just like frosting a cake. So you need to have a good layer. I'm going to say it doesn't have to be on here super neat like you would do with a brush, but you need a little paint on there to work with. So just kind of spread that around, and I'm thinking this is going to be enough. You can wear gloves if you're opposed to getting paint on your hands. This comes off. It's not like an oil paint, but it is a little messy. All right, now you have to work kind of fast. You don't want this to dry. So we'll say this is good right here. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna do is you've got some string. You can use yarn. This is just basic string. And I took 3 different colors. I've got a red, an orange, and a yellow, and then a little bit of white. You can go ahead and plan your colors beforehand, and then you're just going to take your string, and I've got a knife here. You could use a popsicle stick, whatever you have handy, and coat your string with the paint. And I'm going to wind it around. I want to get most of this string coated on both sides. All right, I'm really anxious to see what this is going to come out like, because like you, I have no idea, but I really like working with this, and I think there's a lot of possibilities. Okay, so you can see I've got kind of a variation of the colors on my string. Now, here's the fun part. You need to lay this down on here, but you want to twist it around, okay? You can twist it over itself. All right, I can see already I did not go far enough with this, but that's okay. I think we'll get the idea anyway. Actually, I'm going to see if I can get a little more paint on this. Here. This is what I mean by experimenting. It's probably not going to come out perfect this first time, but the more you play with it, the better results you'll get. All right, so I've got a little more paint on there. Okay, now what you're gonna do is just hold this down and start pulling on the string and work it all the way down to the bottom. And that is not so bad. Check that out. I think that's kind of cool. So then you can go back in if you want to and take your string and do the same thing to it again. You're gonna have some black in here this time too from the background, but that's okay. So get this all coated again with your paint. Now this is beginning to look like mustard and ketchup. And I'm just gonna do kind of a, excuse me, kind of a small one over on this side. And I'll start down a little bit lower. Wind it around. Push it down a little bit. And then once more, we'll just start pulling it. And then there you've got another part to your flower. All right, that's not too bad. That's my second try. I've seen some of these on YouTube that are so intricate, they're unbelievable. So let's work with some fresh paint and string and see what we can do with this larger canvas. Okay, now this is a little bit better material. This is a canvas panel that I'm using. Excuse me. So I think I may get a little bit better results. But I know that on this one I did yesterday, I have way too much paint on here, so it did kind of buckle and the paint is starting to crack. I don't think I'll see that with this one because I didn't use nearly as much paint. So I'm going to add some of this, we'll use some of this red. And once again, I've got the yellow and the orange. And I think I'll put another streak of white in here because I don't see too much of that coming out in this one. So your color choices are endless. You could do a white background with some red flowers that probably look like poppies when you're done. And I have seen some of these online that definitely look like they could be hanging in an art gallery. There you go. That was a good move, wasn't it, Judy? Wipe that off. Okay. I'll get a fresh piece of string here. Add this to my little pile of mess. And I'm going to wipe my knife off. And here we go again. All right. Just make sure you get that really well coated. That's what I'm finding is part of the key here. And make sure you have enough string in there for the length of your surface. Go back down here and pick up all that white. Okay, that should be good. I'll start winding this. The more you wind it around, the more designs you're going to get. All right, so now I see already I probably should have cut that a little bit longer, but I think it's going to be okay. And I'll just start pulling it through all the way to the bottom. Go over this way a little. All right, that's kind of neat. Now the white is showing up quite a bit more. I'm going to use a fresh string this time. for my next one. And this one I'm going to use a little more of the red in here and the white. You're probably going to want to cut your strings now that I'm experimenting. I'm kind of learning as I go here. I would think you're going to want to cut them twice as long as the length of your surface. So by the time you're done twisting them and turning them around, you'll have some to pull on and you'll be almost down at the bottom of it. Okay. Let's set this one up a little bit lower. And I can see, there we go, it's starting already. I can see a couple of areas where I didn't have enough paint on this. So that's something you also have to watch. And it's kind of neat. We'll do one more, and I think I need a little more of this yellow, so it's nice and bright. Oops, probably not that much. These paints do go a long way. And I'll wipe this off once again. Get quite a bit of paint on here. I really want this to pop, and I think this bright yellow is gonna do just the thing. If you try this, send us some pictures of what you come up with. We'd really love to see them. All right. I'm going to start this way right up at the top here. And I'm going to pull it right down through the center. And you can see it's catching some of this other flower too. Wow. Oh, this is cool. And I'll kind of curve it back. All right. I think I'm going to call this done. Sometimes if you keep going, you could have a tendency to overwork things. And when your colors start blending too much, you'll end up with what I call mud. So this is a good point to leave it at. When this dries, if you wanted to, you could go in with some more white and put some highlights in here, or even a little green and finish off the leaves down here. But I really like how this came out up at the top. So I think for now I'm going to let this dry and see what it looks like a few hours from now and decide what I want to do with it then. If I do finish this off, I'll make sure and take a picture to show you. I'm going to try this again in a couple of weeks. I've seen some other ideas too that we can explore. Thanks everyone for being with me today. I had fun with this project, and although it's not perfect by any means, I can see the possibilities and different color combinations, and I think I'm probably gonna do some more of these. So step back and see me next week. I've got something all new and exciting that I'm working on. I'll just give you a little sneak preview real quick. It's a little winter woods scene. So we're gonna be painting that next week. In the meantime, take care, be creative, and I will see you soon. Thank you, bye-bye.